Okay, well, hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar on search strategies, searching the subscription library databases. My name is Ashley Amig, and I am the Director of Library Services and Instruction here at ACHS. Today, our webinar is going to be recorded, so if you'd like to view it afterwards, we have the recording housed on our library training video resources page, which is housed in our library. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to just type your questions in the chat box, or if you feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask questions as well via the microphone. Okay, so the agenda. So today I'm going to talk about some search strategies, library limiters, and then I have some live search examples of how to search within some of our specific subscription library databases. And then if there's any questions at the end, I'll have a question and answer session. So a search strategy. So a search strategy is a strategy for searching a library database to retrieve relevant results. And there's some things that you can do to begin thinking about your search. So you should start to think about when before you search is first, what would you like to research? Write down your research question. So what is it you want to, what is your research question? Then next, with your research question, identify some keywords. So from that research question, pull out specific keywords that you want to use in your search. Where will you search? So next, identify what kind of, where you would like to search. So which library databases you would like to search within. And then also a good strategy is to keep a record of your search strategy for your future searches. So if you find something that works for you, a specific strategy, then keep a record of that somewhere, whether that be just typing it down, writing it down, or screenshotting it for future use. So developing a search strategy. So first you can create a search string, which is known as a combination of words that make up your search. So these are the words that are combined together that you'll enter into your library, into the library database search box to create that specific search or search result. These are results, or excuse me, this is a search string that contains your keywords or phrases. So these keywords are the words that were pulled from that research topic that you thought of. And keywords, if you're not familiar, are words that, like I said, describe your research topic. So they're words that are pulled from your research topic. These words will control how the database, the library database, will interpret your search. And keywords can either be an individual word or really they can be written out in a phrase of some sort. And like I said, they can be chosen from your research topic phrase. So for example, if I'm interested in searching the daily use of lavender essential oil and how it might reduce levels of stress and anxiety, my research question might be, does the daily use of lavender essential oil reduce anxiety? Some potential keywords I might pull out of this research topic / question for my search is lavender, essential oil, stress, anxiety, and I'll use these keywords to conduct or create a search string to create a search and search results. And one type of search string that you can create, this is not required, you're never required to do this kind of search string, but it's just a type of search string that can help with your searches, is a Boolean search. So it's a type of search string that combines keywords with what is called Boolean operators, and this helps narrow or broaden your search or search results. There are 3 different types of Boolean operators that you can use in your search. And these are and, or not. So if you were to use the Boolean operator and in your search, this will narrow your search results and include all of the search terms that you've used in that search phrase, and it will produce results for those search terms. If you were to use the Boolean operator or, this will broaden your search. So say you started out using the Boolean operator and between your keywords and you didn't see any relevant results. In this case, then you can move on to switching out the word and with the Boolean operator or, which will broaden your search and still include either of those search terms in your search. If you were to use the third Boolean operator, which is not, this is more useful for if you have 2 words that sort of mean the same thing. And if you were to type that into the database, then it would produce a really complicated mixture of results because you had 2 words that are very similar. You can use the Boolean operator not to to specify that you're looking for this specific word, not this other specific word. So this will once again narrow your search results to that specific word. So for example, if I were to, like I said, use the same research topic, the daily use of lavender essential oil reduces levels of stress and anxiety. And with my potential keywords, lavender essential oil, stress, anxiety, I can string together a few different search string examples using the Boolean operators and, or, and not. So searching for lavender and stress will narrow my search results to show articles on lavender and stress combined together. If I want to then broaden my search results, I'll type in lavender or stress into the search box, and this will show me results on articles on lavender specifically or articles on stress specifically, not the combination of lavender and stress together like the and would do. If I are interested in just articles on stress, but not anxiety, so for example, sometimes the library database might interpret the word anxiety to be the same as stress. You can type in, I'm looking for articles on stress, but not anxiety. And then lastly, you can also combine the Boolean operators together to create a long search string. So lavender essential oil and stress, but not anxiety. This is telling the database that you're looking for articles on lavender essential oil and stress, but not articles on lavender essential oil and anxiety. So those are just a few different search strings you can search together using the Boolean operators. Like I said, this is not a required search string, but it's just something that does help with your searches if you're looking for specific types of resources and specific types of results for your research topic. So next I want to talk about our library limiters and just kind of introduce you to what these are, where you can find them, and the usefulness of them for your searches. So what a library limiter does is it limits your search result. So that's fairly obvious. It is a limiter that is in, these are actually in every library database, not just our subscription library databases, but any library database you might encounter. So there's some more common limiters that you might see in these library databases. Those include the free full text limiter. So if you check this limiter box, it will limit your search results to display free full text sources only. The peer reviewed limiter is a next limiter that you might see, commonly see, and this will limit your search results to peer reviewed sources, or sometimes also known as scholarly sources only. And then a date range limiter. So if you're looking for articles in a specific date range, you can use this limiter to specify those dates. So next, I'm going to walk you through a few screenshots of where you can find these limiters and what they look like in each of our databases we have here at ACHS, our subscription library resources. So beginning with the ProQuest Central database, this is where the limiters are located. They're located after you have actually conducted your search. So after you have entered your search terms into the search box and pressed search, you'll see on the left-hand side of the screen, this box over here that contains all your limiters. And as I said, there's some, the more common ones you'll see is the full text limiter, the peer reviewed limiter, and the publication date limiter. So if you checked full text, this will limit your results to display full text articles only. If you check the peer reviewed box, this will of course limit to peer reviewed sources only. And then if you can then you can then in the publication date, if you're looking for a specific date range, you can enter that date range. You can also check all of these boxes at the same time. It doesn't have to be one at a time. So for example, if you're looking for peer-reviewed sources that are full text article only in the date range 2015, 2020, you can use all these limiters at the same time to specify those results. The LIRN is, there's also limiters in the LIRN. It's a little bit different than the ProQuest Central database in that where you find your search limiters is it does appear after the search, but you'll have to click on this box called search limits to display the search limiter boxes. Here you will also see your full text checkbox limiter, peer reviewed, peer-reviewed limiter, and date range limiter. You'll probably notice in the previous screenshot as well, you probably noticed that there's also a document type, or there might be a language limiter, and those are also common as well. So if you feel the need to limit to a specific language or limit to a specific document type, such as a journal, article, magazine, or newspaper, they also have the option. Also have the option to do so in these limiters, with these limiters. So PubMed also has limiters. These appear after the search. So after you have entered in your search terms and pressed enter or searched, you will see this on the left-hand side of the screen. Free full text, publication date, and article type, actually in this case, is a common limiter in PubMed. So if you're looking for, in relation to article type, if you're looking for specifically a type of source, such as a book or clinical trial, meta-analysis, or any of these other article types, you can limit PubMed to display those types of sources specifically, in your results. So that's, really great. And PubMed also has some additional limiters. They also have the publication year, they have language, they have, I can't remember, there's a few other ones in there, but these are the more common ones you might see in a library database. Science Direct, another one of our subscription library databases. You can see here a screenshot. We also have years, article type. So this is similar to PubMed. Publication title. So if you are actually interested in searching within a specific journal, you can limit your search results to display those sources that are actually in just that specific journal. And then access type. So open access, meaning that it's available immediately for free. And then our newest database is our Cochrane Library. And our Cochrane Library actually has some different limiters, ones that I have actually not even seen before and I had to look up. So these are fairly new because the Cochrane's a unique library database, and I'll talk a little bit about that in the next section when I kind of dive deeper into these search results. So the Cochrane Library, the search limiters, they appear after the search. They have the common filter where you can filter by a date range. You can filter by reviews or trials. So the Cochrane Library consists of a few different databases, and I'll talk about that in a second. But you can filter by a specific database, which contains either reviews, such as a literature review, or trials, such as a clinical trial. You can limit by status. So status means if you're looking for articles that have a new search for studies that have been conducted. So this is specific to literature review or reviews. So as you may know, a literature review is a large paper that consists of a review of multiple papers on a specific topic. So if you want to see if there are any new searches for studies that have been conducted, you can limit to that. You can also limit to the status of conclusion changed. So if there's any articles where they have updated the conclusion section of the review articles, you can see what kind of updated information they have placed in their conclusions. By intervention, you can also limit by, which means a review that addresses the intervention for a specific health problem. So these are really interesting limiters that they get really specific. You can also limit by overview, which means these are specific results that are an overview of multiple different reviews of multiple different interventions addressing or affecting 2 or more potential interventions for a single condition or health problem. So that's a little bit more complicated, but these could be actually really interesting, kind of play around with on your own. Just check it out and see, what kind of results you get for your specific research topic. You can you can specify what kind of language you like to see your results in, and by topic as well. So topic meaning complementary alternative medicine, pregnancy, childbirth, any of those kind of topics that may show up. So there's a more specified type of limiters in the Cochrane Library that are a little different than your other library databases, but I will show you what that looks like shortly. So just kind of to introduce you to our subscription library resources, if you are not aware of these resources already. So subscription library resources are actually resources that are not freely available to the public. You here at ACHS are the only people that have access to these specific databases in your Canvas account. So we have a specific subscription to these that our students are only allowed to use. Students, faculty, and staff are only allowed to use. You may come across these databases elsewhere at another library, which means that that library has a subscription to these databases, but the public cannot actually enter in the Cochrane Library and get the full results that you see if you went to the Cochrane Library within our database, within our Canvas library. So we have five different subscription library resources. The American Botanical Council, which is actually a website that provides herbal research, including monographs and electronic research articles on herbs specifically. We have our new database, the Cochrane Library, which is actually a collection of 3 different databases. The Cochrane Reviews is one database, which is a collection of systematic reviews in healthcare. So think of a literature review, a collection of articles that is reviewed to make up one larger article. The Central database is a collection of clinical trials, and Clinical Answers, which is a collection of actually clinical answers designed to be actionable and inform point of care decision making. So Clinical Answers is very unique and it's more specified, I'd say, for those who are in the healthcare field that are actually diagnosing or dealing with patients and diagnosing, because what the doctors or healthcare professionals can do is they can look up, they have a question about a specific condition, they can look in Clinical Answers and they'll give them a short, straight to the point kind of answer of what their question is. So it's an actionable kind of answer rather than a paper of some sort. The Library and Information Resources Network, also known as the LEARN database, is a nonprofit library service that actually provides access to multiple databases as well. These databases are the ProQuest Central database, which is what I talked about at the beginning, and our Gale Virtual Reference Library. So this is a reference library that actually contains ebooks. So you can go into the LIRN and look up this database for some ebooks if you're interested. We also have the Natural Medicines database, a comprehensive database of full-text herbal medicine monographs. So if you are studying herbal medicine, this is a great database for you. And then lastly, our Science Direct Health and Life Sciences collection. This is just another specified health and life sciences database on health and life science topics. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to dive into these 3 different databases, the ProQuest Central, Science Direct, and Searching the Cochrane Library, to kind of just give you an overview of what this looks like and how to do these searches. So let me pull up, let me see if anyone has questions or anything. No. Pull up our library. All right, so here we are on our library launchpad. And you can access all of these 3 databases that I mentioned specifically underneath the Search the Library Subscription Library Resources database. I'm only going to dive into 3 databases today on how to do searches in 3 databases. However, I want to let you know that you can actually see how to search within all of our databases. If you go into the Research Help tab, let me close this out. If you go into the Research Help tab and you scroll down to our library resource guides, we have guides for how to search specifically within all of our databases here at ACHS. So those are very useful guides as well. So going back to the Search the Library, I'm going to begin with Cochrane Library, which is one of the first databases I see here. So Cochrane is our newest database. It requires a login, and the login information is found on this page right here. So you have to just log in using our ACHS institutional login, and I have it saved on my computer. So it's achs.edu, or excuse me, ACHS edu 123 exclamation point. That's both for the username and for the password. So once you are signed in, then you'll have full access to this library. So as you can see, you can actually go into each of the specific databases, such as the Cochrane Review, the clinical trials, or the clinical answers database, and you can search within those specific databases. However, I would recommend actually starting your search just in the general search box so you can search all of these at the same time. So for this search, I'm just going to show you a specific search on aromatherapy and anxiety and see what we get for this search. So you can just simply type in what you're looking for. So just one thing I want to point out first is the limiters at the top. So Cochrane Review, trials, clinical answers, it looks like there's nothing there. This is how you would limit if you wanted to limit by a specific database. So what's showing here is all the Cochrane reviews, meaning all of these are systematic reviews of the literature for the specific topic of aromatherapy and anxiety. It's very simple if you want to just limit by date, status, language, etc. You can just say if I wanted to limit, looks like there's nothing in the last 3 months that have been reviewed, but for the last 6 months, I'm interested in very specific recent research, then I can just limit by 6 months here. If I just click on the link, that'll open up the full text of this review article, the systematic review, and I can just simply view PDF and full, and then this will download the PDF. So this is the Cochrane database. If you're looking for trials, so trials meaning that they have actually conducted a clinical trial on aromatherapy and anxiety, and you can find the trial by just clicking on the title and all the information here of when the trial was conducted, where it was conducted, etc. is there. If you want the full link to the trial, you'll just go to the DOI number and it'll pull it up. And if you're looking for this full text, there might be some instances where the full text does not appear, which is absolutely okay. I know it can be frustrating at first that you don't see the full text, but in this case, this one did not appear to be full text immediately. So you can just send me this article via our ACHS article request form, and I will locate that for you for free as soon as I can. So within, I say 24 hours after you send it to me. So the clinical trials, another thing about clinical trials, if you're looking for primary sources, a clinical trial is actually a primary source, while a Cochrane review, a systematic review, is a secondary source. So that is something else I like to mention just because I know some students have reached out to me recently about what's a primary source and where can I find primary source articles or sources at all on this topic. So next I'm going to dive into, I'm going to close this out briefly, and I'm going to dive into our ProQuest Central database. As I mentioned, our ProQuest Central database is located under our subscription library resources, but our ProQuest Central database is also part of the LIRN. I just like to link it separately just because it's such a large database and I don't want it to get lost in the LIRN for our students. So the LIRN is a very large database that consists of a lot of health sciences sources, business sources, general information. I would say it's not specified to a specific topic. I like to use this for if I'm searching for a broader range of topics, not just CAM or aromatherapy or herbal medicine specific. You can use the search box here. I'm going to use the same search string that I used before, and I'm going to type in aromatherapy and anxiety. And I'm going to click search. This is known as a basic search, by the way, if you're curious about the lingo. I'm just going to maximize that so you can see my screen more. As you can see, the limiters are located on the left-hand side. So if I'm interested in just viewing full text, peer-reviewed sources only, I can check those boxes and it will then show me full text peer-reviewed sources only. If I want to get the full text, if this is an article I'm interested in, I can just simply click the full text PDF and it will download the full text PDF to my computer for me. The publication date, you can also limit by publication date. ProQuest, similar to all the other library databases, have a a few different other limiters, such as publication title. So if you know what journal specifically you want to search within, you can limit by that. Document type. So document type meaning you can specify what document, what source you want. So do you want an article, a feature, a magazine, a review, a case study? You can limit by that by selecting more. Subject, if you're interested in human subjects or studies on aromatherapy. So there's a whole bunch of different limiters that you can kind of dive into to limit your search in ProQuest Central as well. And last, I am going to talk about the ScienceDirect database. This is another database that you'll have to actually log into using some credentials that we have provided here for you on this page. ProQuest Central, you do not need to log in, it automatically logs you in. The only ones on our database that currently require you to log in are the Cochrane Library and the ScienceDirect database. We specify specifically which ones need you to sign in. The other databases, you do not need to sign in at all. So once you have signed in to the database, you'll see your name in the top right-hand corner. You can use the search box and the keywords to search for your topic. If you know specifically an article that you want to search for, so say you have all the information such as the author's name, the title of the journal, or if it's a book, volume, issue, page, etc., you can use that to search specifically for that. However, if you're just doing a general search on a topic, then just use the keyword search for your search. So for this, I'm going to use again aromatherapy and anxiety just to see what kind of results I get here in ScienceDirect, and I'll click the search. The limiters, as I mentioned previously, are on the left-hand side. So we have our years, so you can, meaning you can, you can limit by publication year. Article type, so if you're looking for a research article or a review article or an encyclopedia, book chapter, etc., you can limit by that. Publication title, subject area, and access type. So just kind of to show you what this looks like, the results look like, I'm interested in articles just on 20 that are published in 2021 and just research articles only, and voila. So it shows me here, these are all research articles. So research articles, again, are actually primary sources. So if you're looking for a primary source, this is a great limiter to use in the ScienceDirect database. And these are all recently published, meaning that they're published in 2021. And to download the full copy, just click download PDF and it will save to your computer. You can also, if you want to download all of the articles at the same time, you can just check the checkbox and then download 25 articles. So there's a lot of different things you can use, you can do and manipulate, I guess you can say, in these databases. So those are three databases I wanted to show you today. I know we're getting close to time, so I'm going to wrap it up pretty shortly. As a reminder, I never want you to pay for an article or any source. So if you come across a source or an article that has a subscription or a cost associated with it, and you cannot find it within our library databases or elsewhere, if you have another way to access it, please submit an ACHS article request form. This is a form that goes directly to me, and I will contact our lending library to retrieve a copy of that article for free, and I'll send it back to you. This form is located on our library launchpad underneath the ACHS article request form / shared articles tab. And here's a screenshot of where that is located. And then lastly, as I mentioned briefly in this webinar, our library resource guides are great guides on how to conduct searches within our specific databases, how to evaluate sources, how to dive deeper into search strategies and library limiters. If you're interested in publishing an article, we have a guide as well. And then we also have a Latin pronunciation guide. So these are located within our library launchpad underneath the research help tab. Okay, so that is my webinar. I will see if anyone has any questions. I'll wait a moment. You can feel free to unmute yourself or you can type in the chat box and I'll just drink some water while I wait. And for those who just joined us, well, I know I see a few additional people that have joined. This has been recorded, and I will have the recording available on our library launchpad in about an hour, and I'll show you right now where I post these live webinars. If you go to the research help tab, the very first link called the library training video resources, I house all of my training video resources in this link here, including this specific recording. I will update here as well. I'll just give it a few more moments to see if anyone has any questions. Yes, definitely, Gretchen. I can definitely send you a link. Let me copy and paste the link right now of where you can find this recording. I'll post this in the chat box so everyone can have access to it. All right, here's the direct link to where I will post the recording. You're welcome, Gretchen. Yep. Yeah, you're welcome. Definitely, Carla. Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you can join, even if it was for just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording, stop sharing my screen. I'm also going to type in my email address. So if anyone has any questions for me, oops, that is incorrect. Librarian, that's not how you spell it. Librarian@achs.edu is my email address. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to email me and I will get back to you, as soon as I can. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to hopefully virtually talking to you guys sometime soon. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.